The bases are prepped, the armies are ready, and we are hopping into the very first attack. Dark Tangent will get the first strike here to start off this brother versus brother war. A sibling rivalry that will go down in the tomes of history throughout all of Clashdom. The first time an Indian squad is going to make it to the finals will be off the backs of a shutout in the semis.
Indeed it will, Woody, and we have Master Atif coming in with the Dragons. He did get a 3-star with this attack strategy in day 1 with their loss to Existence. But let's see if he can get the 3 stars now when it is elimination. If they lose, they will be going out of the competition. We have a nice funnel set up for the Dragons already. They charge on through to the Town Hall, which will be that first star going down already, Woody.
Master Atif is the opener for Dark Tangent. He always strikes first and sometimes strikes hard. Picked up a 3-star in the war against Existence. Even though his squad lost that match, he has proven his skills before, and with a mass drag attack with a spicy little E-drag out on the right side corner, he is really doing some massive damage super fast here. That's exactly how you want to play it. Rage spell spread out all over to keep these Dragons on target. That Eagle Artillery still firing away, and with a single target Inferno and air defense to protect it, this battle isn't over yet, Judo.
It's going to be close, Woody. He does have a big pack of Dragons to the left-hand side, and the thing that I notice is the Royal Champion is yet to be used. He is really holding on to that hero to try and deploy it at the correct time. He still has the Queen ability. He's allowing the Dragons to take out as much of the base as possible. There comes the Royal Champion. Hopefully the shield can get through the air defense. Will it be the opening 3-star for Dark Tangent, Woody? It could still go either way at this point with the single target Inferno raining down damage.
There she goes! There she goes again! Racing through my brain, and I just can't contain this feeling that remains. Such a close hit for Master Atif, but the Royal Champion, not enough this time to pull it off. A 2-star, 92%. Very solid start here, but not able to put the nail in the coffin for an Indian Clashers base that couldn't quit.
Very, very close. The single target Inferno had about 1% health. However, we do have to note that Dark Tangent did not get off to the best start yesterday in their War to Nova Imperium. They actually went 2-3 stars behind and still managed to get the victory. So their confidence will be high. But it is the MVP currently of Indian Clashers 11 who is kicking off this war for them.
Super strong hitter, a 2-star, 97% in his first war, backed it up with a 3-star right after that against Tribe Gaming. 11 is one of the strongest hitters, and as you said, the MVP, undeniable for the Indian Clasher squad. If we're looking for a strong start from both teams, we couldn't have asked for a better lineup. This Archer Queen taking a lot of punishment in her initial charge here, but the healers are down, and they're going to start their work. Expect to see some rage spells. There they come, topping her back off and keeping her healthy for that charge into the CC. Gets the pull, and with a super wall breaker, we'll be able to crack into that compartment as well. She ought to be able to go for that Town Hall and maybe even grab a 2 more defenses on the way there.
Beautiful, and the thing I like is the couple of Hog Riders in towards the air defense. Oh, they take it down, Woody, which is brilliant to protect the healers as he moves through. The Queen is comfortably taking down the Clan Castle before engaging the Town Hall. As you can see now, you called it perfectly. Beelined to the Town Hall. That will go down and provide a fantastic start for the hybrid. And we already have one of the scatter shots getting tanked on the left-hand side of the base as well, Woody.
Sneaky entry, just barely dodging each of the main defensive structures as she makes her way to the bottom compartment, wrapping it up all around it. Here come the Hog Riders. Healers started to take a lot of fire from that air defense, and that is what forced 11 to drop the main force here. He's only got a minute and a half left, though, as he's already halfway through this raid and is just getting his main force down. Multi-target Infernos all around this base are big trouble for Hog Rider armies. He's got to get those heal spells on perfectly to keep them topped up and healthy for a big slog through this huge base.
He sure does. Now, the Grand Warden's ability was perfectly timed over a giant bomb and the Eagle artillery fire, but the difficulty here for 11 is that central compartment with the multi-target Inferno. He just can't get his miners and hogs into it, and it continues to rain damage. Now that the miners and hogs move in, he's actually split the troops. So notice how many of the hogs move up to the top. They are vulnerable, and the Royal Champion has to do her best in order to try and help out. As the miners and hogs move through, they are just losing power towards the back end of the base, and with a multi-target Inferno and a scatter shot, you can't help but think that it might just be too much for the Indian Clashers.
A citadel of supremacy built up by Subhagia will not be knocked down today. 11 from the Indian Clashers will fall short in the war against Dark Tangent. A 2-star in the middling 70% might pick up a few more buildings along the outer edge to clean up for that percentage race. Remember, fans of Clash of Clans, you all know it. It all comes down to the stars at the end of the day. But if they are tied even up, it's about that percentage destruction to figure out which team will advance to the playoffs.
Indeed, a 79% 2-star brought in by 11 of the Indian Clashers. The stars remain exactly the same, however that percentage difference is quite significant, but we are only in the opening attacks of this war. Still got 4 more on either side, and Master Atif's Royal Champion just wasn't able to get the value that he wanted at the back end of that attack for Dark Tangent, Judo.
No, he didn't, but at least we have 2 comfortable 2-stars. I do not question the pressure on both of these teams, especially as Eric was saying just beforehand. They know each other well, but we have Krishvish Noi attacking with the Super Witches, Woody. Something we haven't seen a lot, but in this qualifier, we've seen a couple of 3-stars with them.
Oh yeah, and I think that Christian Vishnoy has done a great job on base identification for this attack. There are a lot of openings in the outer layers of the walls. That's done by Death to try to funnel enemy troops into specific compartments, setting off traps and triggering a destructive wave of shots from all the turrets onto those key choke points. Instead, though, Christian Vishnoy is going to be using the Super Witches to summon big boys throughout the entire raid. Those massive skeleton attackers are going to provide some cushioning for the Super Witches behind them. Really beefy troops in their own right, and can dish out a ton of damage as well. This is going to be a slow start for him, though. This right side corner taking a long time to go down with the Warden Walk. Already a minute in, and we're still waiting to see where the main force of this army is getting deployed.
Yes, it is a slow start, Woody, especially with the Super Witches. They are known to be a slow troop because there's not a lot of them. There is the one Super Witch, which is 30 housing space, and the big boy, which means they are not going to have masses across the attack. Apologies, I think it's 40 housing space, in fact, so you can see how there is not many of them on the board, which means time is ticking, and this one will be a close one right down to the wire.
He's brought 2 jump spells, so he might be able to negate those walls on defense, but this is a really spread out base far and wide across the entirety of this map. It's going to be a tough call for Krish Vishnoy to be able to pull off a win here without getting a time fail. These Super Witches almost always encounter a time fail rather than having difficulty actually tearing down the buildings all across the map. So keep pace here with as many spells as you can to keep them on target, raging up the center bulk of these troops, but really struggling to make it past this first wave. He finally gets a second star, but less than a minute for cleanup.
The Royal Champion towards the right-hand side of the base could be his only lifeline. He has to hope that the Royal Champion can move through the defenses quickly and the ability goes off. This can ping through a lot of defenses and taking them down. And you can see how close it is, Woody. 40 seconds with only 30% of the base. I think he could still get this one, but with the Tesla farm over to 9 o'clock, it could be difficult. Now there is the Royal Champion continuing to move through the base. The big boys are tanking for her to take down the defenses. 20 seconds. He could be in with a shot here, Woody. Do not write this attack off yet.
Here they go for the final showdown against the Tesla farm, holding on for dear life. The electricity zapping down balloons left and right, but stuck on the walls. The big boy and Archer Queen cannot join the fray. This is going to be a defensive win for Death of the Indian Clashers. His last line of defense barely holding on against a Super Witch squad that seemed primed for destruction.
You were absolutely right. More often than not, it is a time fail with the Super Witches. Notice how many troops were left at the end of the attack. Probably 5 or 10 seconds extra, and the 3 stars would have came in, which means the Grand Warden walk at the start of the attack, if that could have been spiced up and made a little bit more efficient, we could have been looking at a 3-star for Dark Tangent, but it was the 2, and it's now Indian Clashes that could take the advantage.
It's beautiful to watch those long haul walks early in the raid. You gotta appreciate the artistry of the multi-stage hits that these top-level players are pulling off. But it's all about the efficiency of each attack. How much do you get from each resource invested? In this case, we've got a very atypical choice here from Death, running a golem in this army camp instead of picking up the healers to try to keep his heroes alive and well through this raid into the left side corner. Stage 1 is going to see a big tank out in front, soaking blows for this triple hero squad, trying to rip into the left corner and grab maybe an Eagle Artillery and try to take out an air sweeper as well. Those can both cause a lot of trouble for La Lune raids. We've got 2 Lava Hounds backing up almost a couple dozen balloons for this one, Judo.
Indeed, and the thing I like here, Woody, is the entirety of the left-hand side of the base is down, which means the Lava Loon can easily track through the base. Now, you might have noticed there was a couple of balloons coming in to the short-range Archer Tower. That is to try and help with pathing, but he is struggling with the troops. Oh, the Queen goes down. Can he get the rest of the troops with the poison? And it looks like the Inferno Dragon survives, Woody.
Just a tiny sliver of hit points there. Even a minion could take it down if it gets the lock, which it ought to. They're walking into range.
Anything.
A few more added on, and that'll be enough for Death to take out the Inferno Dragon. But keep an eye on the main phase of the raid now, forcing out a 3-spell. That scatter shot was looking awfully scary, but Death has got a plan for everything, and here he comes. He is inevitable. Just like Thanos, he is sweeping through, snapping his fingers, and buildings go down. Another one goes down. Town Hall in sight, and with an additional 3-spell to lock down that Giga Inferno, he's going to add on the Eternal Tome far and away. A bit early for my taste, Judo.
Warden's ability, Woody, has been set off because he took a lot of damage.
Avert your eyes! The balloons! Pop!
Oh, they get through just, but it's not going to be enough to finish off the base because of the ability. That is why you need the ability over the Town Hall with a Lava Loon attack, Woody.
Yikes, yikes, yikes. That was a big hit for those poor loons. Some of them survived thanks to the life orb provided by that Grand Warden. But wow, we are running short on troops and short on time as well. Doing our best to make our way through a single target Inferno. The Dragon's been able to lock on support from the Grand Warden. We'll be able to pop it. Oh, no, get it down. And that's going to be the last line of defense, holding on yet again. No 3-stars at all, Judo, for this war so far.
Yeah, a shaky start by both of the teams. As Eric predicted, a low-scoring war so far. Maybe they do just know each other incredibly well, Banks.
Yes, indeed. A 92% 2-star, though. Do not write that off. These are still very high percentage 2-stars. Just unfortunately, the initial attack from Indian Clashes is bringing down that average percentage. But one of the most important elements at this level of Clash of Clans is time management. If you're going to use those slower, more tanking troops, for the initial portion of the attack just needs to be quickly established to allow for enough time, Woody.
Yep, time fails are really heartbreaking in this war, especially when these two teams have fought so hard just to come up against a sister clan in the semifinals. But we got to recoup. There's no time to lick our wounds. Sabhagya is moving in for the next hit now for Dark Tangent. He's got a Yeti Smash army with 3 witches to go the distance. A jump spell added on top for a base that's really spread out. Lots of walls separating the innards here, but once you kind of crack through that one layer, if he drops that jump spell maybe near where that Barbarian King plinth is, he should have access to a lot of this base. He's going for that Grand Warden walk early on here as well, so that's going to be an easy chunk out of the left side. Great funneling done by Sabhagya on the first stage of this attack, Judo.
An interesting base for sure, with the scatter shot central in the base to mean it is difficult to get to. No lightning value around there, but he managed to take down the single target Inferno, a couple of other defenses, and that also means for his Grand Warden walk, he is safe. He can take his time, set up the funnel, and now we see the supporting Yetis come through to draw the Grand Warden up to the top of the base. And look at the sneaky goblins, Woody. They are so quick to set up the funnel, taking out the resource buildings and driving the Yetis in towards the town hall with the wall wrecker there to support.
No poison spell with this attack, and it looks like Sabhagia is going to do it the old-fashioned way, tearing through these CC troops with a massive army, but the Archer Queen forced to pop that ability early is going to be a big letdown. He was hoping that the rest of the troops would be out in front to block for her. Now she's really low, and with an Eagle Artillery firing away at the entire club, that's going to require an Eternal Tome to protect as they path their way over that Giga Bomb. Town Hall goes down for the first star, and Sabhagia's about to grab the second, but this is still a lot of damage raining down on the Rage.
This sure is, Woody, but the healers are stuck on the Queen because she took so much damage. That has left the Yetis and bowlers vulnerable, and there they go. They are down in a Yeti smash attack. You need your healers on the Yetis. They stuck with the Queen at the back, and unfortunately, that left his attack vulnerable, but he's managed to get the center of the base, and with the Royal Champion's ability, he could still sneak this one.
A freeze to end all freezes. The blizzard of the year by Sabhagia shut down the Eagle Artillery and the 1-point defense firing away at the Archer Queen long enough for her to get her job done. This is still a big army along the bottom side of the base cruising through what looks like defenses that have cracked and fallen. Sabhagia has done it. This is looking like our first triple, Judo.
3 stars all day long, Woody. The king has his ability. 30 seconds on the clock. No time fail for this attack. Dark Tangent take the lead, and it will be Indian Clashers that now have to respond. They are behind in this war.
The Swag King floating high and mighty. Lots of bling hanging off of him, ready to pop that Iron Fist anytime he needed it, but he didn't even have to bring the fire that time. Knocked it out for a triple, and that puts Dark Tangent far into head, the only 3-star we've seen so far this war, and really forces Salim into a tricky pickle.
While Salim was instantly in there, Woody. There was no time in between the matches. He went into attack as straight away as the 3-star came in. He is ready to respond. His plan is set, and let's see if he can execute it. The Queen charge is gently taking away the left-hand side of the base with the Yeti and the Baby Dragon to funnel, and this will allow the Queen alongside a beautifully timed Super Wall Breaker directly into the Town Hall, but it looks like with 2 extra Super Wall Breakers, he wants her to go even further.
Great timing on that freeze spell as well. Right when that single target Inferno was heating up the most, he shut it down and gave that Archer Queen another shot at glory, finishing off that Town Hall and now engaging both the CC and the Royal Champion at the same time. Poison spell is perfectly placed and a freeze right on top. It really seems the CC meta has always forced players to include an Inferno Dragon there just to require attackers to bring that extra freeze to shut it down, Judo.
Exactly, and what that does is make sure that you don't have that for the regular army. I know it sounds little, but a single spell is often the difference maker. Having said that, he has used a lot of spells on this Queen, Woody. She is clinging on with a rage spell, has to use the ability, multiple expos raining fire onto her. She's struggling to get through, but if she can get the Eagle Artillery, that is his target. She's going down fast. She's onto it. Can she get the Eagle to help the Hogs and Miners as they come through?
No! Failure for the Archer Queen, and her mission will go unnoticed. Salim's army is getting a ton of damage dumped on because that Eagle Artillery is still up. Another salvo fires away before the Hog Riders finally make their way toward the Eagle, knocking it down, but at what cost? This is going to be a really tricky race to the finish. A Grand Warden Eternal Tome protects them from some additional splash damage, but those 2 scatter shots in the bottom compartment are going to be a really big bite to handle.
Indeed they are, Woody. He does have a couple of miners onto the remaining scatter shot, but what I believe is he must have came in towards the single target Infernos to try and protect the Royal Champion to the end. Normally you would take out the major defenses first, being these scatter shots, so I am surprised that he didn't draw the Hogs and Miners in direct to the 6 o'clock area where the scatter shots were. I was focused on the Queen, didn't quite see what was up to the top of the base, but either way, it's a great percentage, but it's just not going to be enough for the Indian Clashers to respond.
Another heartbreaking time fail for Salim this time around. It looks like the King and Grand Warden might have even had enough oomph to deal the damage to this base, but running out of time, it's going to tick away at a 2-star, 92% once again.
Yes, another 92% 2-star for Indian Clashers, just still unable to put that first triple on the board. But if you are just joining us now on the stream, Dark Tangent have pulled ahead by 1 star. They put the first triple on the board by Saubhagya. That was an incredible attack, and we still have plenty more to come, Woody.
I got the replay where we saw that Archer Queen charge in valiantly against the enemy Eagle Artillery, firing away with all her might, but missed by just 1 shot. The ability to take that down, that additional splash damage firing twice against the main pack of Hog Riders was probably what shut down his hopes of a triple there.
Indeed it was.
That's how close it comes, Judo.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to use the Grand Warden's ability to try and help with the amount of splash damage that comes down from the Eagle Artillery. Now it is Piyush who is the MVP of Dark Tangent, basically, Woody. And if they get a 3-star, they will really put Indian Clashers on the back pedal.
Low and steady start for Piyush, one of the greatest attackers for Dark Tangent. He's picked up triples time and again. I thought he was a perfect hitter, actually, but I made a little mistake yesterday when we were casting Judo. He actually got a 2-star, 99%. But Piyush from Dark Tangent is going to be looking for another one here and now, going to shut out the Indian Clashers if they get a final triple on the board. They're so far ahead in percentage right now that it's just a race for stars. And with Indian Clashers behind by one of them, it looks like Piyush could have the last say here in this war, still with 2 attacks remaining from their opponents.
Indeed he could, and let's be honest, 2 3-stars and a 99%. That is a pretty good record. Let's see if he can continue that. He's coming in with his Drag Loon attack strategy, almost the signature move of Dark Tangent. We've seen it multiple times. You can notice the 1 dragon across to the right-hand side of the base. Often we do see them use an Electro Dragon to try and thin out that area, but now we see the traditional dragons flying direct into the town hall. If you can take that down early on, you don't have to worry about it doing massive damage onto your dragons if it is activated later on in the raid.
This is just 1 dragon with that Eternal Tome, but the big part of the army has been well protected. Single target Inferno heating up on a poor Archer Queen. Will she wander out of range? No, it's going to require a free spell to keep her safe. All the dragons are stacked up on top of each other, though, and that's looking a little bit dicey here for Piyush.
Oh, I'm so surprised he didn't press the King's ability to try and draw the Queen in towards the single. He gets fortunate with a couple of the dragons moving across and taking it down, but with an Ice Golem looming, is this going to be danger for Dark Tangent? When the Ice Golem is popped on defense, it will freeze his troops. Fortunately, the Royal Champion is out of range and might be able to reach the back-end air defense, Woody.
That is a super unfortunate CC for Piyush to run up against now. Freezing a pack of dragons that are already pretty slow are not what you want to see at all. We've seen the Royal Champion ability already used here, and with no healers to boost up these heroes, this is as much as they're going to get. That Eagle Artillery firing away throughout the entirety of the raid and finally going down, but at what cost? Piyush has made it to the backside of the base, but there's still too many defensive structures up. This Grand Warden doing his best to boost the remaining troops, but they are all down now, and it's a solo mission for him, racking up as much percentage destruction as he can, Judo.
That's all he can do at this point. Drive up the percentage. Dark Tangent are already significantly ahead of Indian Clashers. So even if Indian Clashers were to get the 3-star and level it up on stars, they also need to catch the percentage. So as long as Dark Tangent keep the percentage high, it means they are pushing Indian Clashers to need 2 3-stars from their remaining 2 attacks in order to win this war. We know they have the caliber of multiple 3-stars. They beat Tribe Gaming yesterday, 12 to 12 stars. So we will have to see whether they can respond with their next two attacks, Woody.
It looks like even with two triples, Indian Clashers would not be able to reach a 93% destruction. So that leaves Dark Tangent still high and mighty above on that race. They really have got to hope that Dark Tangent fails their next attack and they get two triples. They've got to start here and now. There's no time to waste. Drag will be the next hitter for the Indian Clashers. And true to his name, he's brought 8 dragons and an Electro Dragon to back it up. A little baby waiting in tow as well, but let's see how he starts things off. Expecting maybe some Sui heroes on the bottom to try to grab an air defense and maybe even go for that enemy royal champion. Looks like he's going to be starting off with a Barbarian King and an Ice Golem to block for this Queen as well.
Yeah, set the funnel for the Queen to come directly into that base. A beautiful move. And Drag was actually one of the players that did get a 3-star yesterday against Tribe Gaming. So he's obviously hunting for the same. But it's really interesting that you mentioned, Woody, they will be relying on the defense from Dark Tangent. So this one really does come down to the final attacks. But let's see whether Drag can get the 3-star on this one first. The Queen's ability pops rather early, Woody. I think he wants the multi-target Inferno here, but she's walked around, and I'm not sure she's going to get it. She doesn't. What does he do to take down that multi-target Inferno tower?
That Queen just took so much damage. The King wandering out of range, not protecting her from that Royal Champion. Bad news for Drag, but he might still be able to recover this here, salvaging that operation in the bottom corner with an Electro Dragon. But the CC troops are coming out, and that is not what an Electro Dragon wants to deal with. It does not have splash damage. Instead, it chains damage onto enemy targets. But while that's happening, it's going to be heated up by that multi-target Inferno. Oh no, a missed rage spell is going to deny it access to that bottom compartment, and it's going to die to just pitiful little archers.
Oh, you can see the shadow underneath the Electro Dragon. That is where you need to drop the rage. Such a critical mistake here. Will it be costly? Because he needs rage spells for the dragons. They move through the base. They do get the town hall with the sneaky goblins inside the battle blimp. Here come the bats. They have to get through this base, but a multi-target Inferno on the back could be the difference maker. They are charging on forward ahead of the dragons, and he only has one free spell left with multiple splash damages, Woody.
I can't imagine Drag spending so much to try to deal with that multi-target Inferno and still coming up short. Another dragon burnt apart by that massive defensive structure. Great job to Professor baiting out that big investment by Drag on the bottom side here. Dark Tangent's defenses hold on, and that's really going to put a damper on their enemies parade here. Indian Clashers charging through, but unable to make it happen. Coming up short again and again with yet another 2-star, finding that 3 just out of reach.
Indeed, and let's remember, Championship Sunday means if you lose, you go home. So Indian Clashers really on the back pedal. They are counting on Dark Tangent making a mistake now, Banks.
Right, you are there, Judo. It is only elimination matches going to be happening today. It is the playoffs, so that's a really unfortunate turn of events there for Indian Clashers, unable to secure that triple. That's what they really needed to apply even a little bit of pressure on Dark Tangent. So going into the final 2 attacks, we're really going to need to see something special for it to turn around for them, Woody.
Yeah, the only hope for Indian Clashers right now is that Dark Tangent gets a horrible miss of a 2-star or even a 1-star. Rare to see that happen. I think we've only had 1-star so far this month, and to see a second would be a big upset from a team that's made it this far. Professor from Dark Tangent is not one to disappoint. He came in hot yesterday, grabbing a 2-star, 70% against Existence, but then backing it up with a triple right afterwards against Nova Imperium, advancing his team on. He was perhaps the clutch hitter for this squad, and we don't expect to see him, we don't expect him to let us down again.
No, we do not. He was the attacker that had everything on him. He gave Dark Tangent the opportunity to battle again today, getting the 3-star against Nova Imperium, as you mentioned, and the Super Witches we seen earlier on in this war. And if he were to get a similar attack, which is a high percentage 2-star, even if it was a time fail, with that high of a percentage, it would put the war out of reach for Indian Clashers. He does have a quite lengthy Grand Warden walk again in, Woody, as we've seen with the other attack, but he's just making sure 100% that the Super Witches go to that Town Hall and he doesn't miss the 2 stars.
This requires a huge amount of concentration to pull off, effectively attacking from multiple angles with a Warden Walk, the Siege Barracks down, a Barbarian King out in front of these other heroes and the Super Witches. The healers have now swapped over onto the Super Witches exactly as Professor would hope to keep them topped off and healthy with so much splash damage raining down on them. This is a perfect entry for the attack and a great opportunity to finish it out right here. If Dark Tangent get the triple, they are going to the Grand Finals, Judo.
They sure are, but there's not a lot of troops on the Town Hall, Woody. He uses the Rage onto just a couple of Yetis to make sure it goes down. There is the first star. The Super Witches move on to the center of the base, and with only splash damage, no single target Infernos, it means the big boys are well protected, and he waits patiently on the Royal Champion to make sure he can deploy it from the correct area of the base. Here she comes from the right-hand side. No single target Infernos to take her down either, so he's onto a good attack here. He's 1% away from the 50%, which is the second star. And we can presume if the attack were to continue, he will indeed get it. The attack will continue. He's already deployed his troops, even if, unfortunately, he's lost connection towards the end of the attack. This one would play out and hopefully give Dark Tangent the win.
That's right. They're almost guaranteed to get a 2-star with the way things are shaped up here. So even if we only count it as a 50%, Dark Tangent are going to have a very impressive lead over the Indian Clashers. I'm running the numbers right now, and it looks like even if we just call it a 50% hit here, that would bring their total percentage destruction to 85.04. So that would actually be a pretty significant hit and leave an opportunity for the Indian Clashers to come back. But I think it's got to be higher than 50%. As the attack continues now, we'll get a chance to see how this thing is going to finish up.
Yeah, exactly. Even if he can't use the abilities or deploy any more troops, he does have a healer onto the big boys. So let's see how the attack plays out. We can presume he's lost connection here, Woody, and we just need the percentage higher and higher. We can see on the screen that it continues. The attack finishes, and it's 89.8% total destruction for Dark Tangent. Now, with the mathematics, I'm not too sure, Woody. Would Indian Clashers be able to catch up here? I guess we'll have to find out.
No, they cannot. Even with a triple, that would only put them up to 87.36%. So it seems like Dark Tangent have done enough to shut them out. It looks like they'll be going to the Grand Finals.
They sure will be. They can celebrate. They do not have to worry at this point. They need to fix things before the Grand Finals. We will find out who they are going up against. It is going to be either Existence or Tribe Gaming, but Indian Clashers will want to give themselves a 3-star here. Like you said, Woody, brother versus brother, they will want to showcase to Dark Tangent that they can put up a 3-star on the scoreboard as well.
Yes, indeed. And it's just going to be a few more minutes to wait until we get to announce the final scoreline here. Dark Tangent already breathing a sigh of relief. Their work has been done, and it has met the standard. Even with a slip up there in the last hit, they got to check their internet connections, but I think that they're going to have enough after all. Serial Killer will be the final attacker here for the Indian Clashers to put an exclamation point on a fantastic semifinal match. This brother versus brother showdown is finishing off finally with the Dark Tangent squad moving on.
Well, I was able, Woody, to interview both of these teams on the COC Esports Twitter page, and they were asked what would happen if you faced each other, and they all said it would be a fun match. And let's remember, Clash of Clans is there to be enjoyed as well, so I really hope that both teams have had a fantastic day. Now, unfortunately, confirmation is in. Indian Clashers, as you mentioned, cannot catch up. It will be Dark Tangent moving forward, but let's see if Serial Killer can indeed get that 3-star.
It's all about bragging rights right now, swagging through on a base that has got no hopes for advancement. Serial Killer will still move in with precision to try to execute the plan that he had laid out in case this would have been the clutch moment to get through. He's cracking through multiple compartments with those super wall breakers and showing us a masterclass in Archer Queen charges. She ought to be able to even make it onto that enemy Royal Champion and possibly the scatter shot as well. A balloon right on top is actually taking no fire at all, tearing it down and giving Serial Killer a beautiful entry into this really spread out base.
They can showcase their class, Woody. We know how good the Indian Clashes are. They have put on one fantastic performance throughout this competition, and at least they can cheer on their counterparts, Dark Tangent. We know how good this clan family is, and this attack is testimony to that. Look at this Queen charge. As you mentioned, the inside of the base is gone, and the lava loon is only just beginning from the top area of the base.
Imagine putting your Eagle artillery in the very center of the base, protecting it with 3 layers of walls, and then still seeing it torn apart by just a Queen charge. She knocked out that bottom corner, and with just a little bit more help from the Royal Champion, finished off the right side to give Serial Killer an easy entry to that last line of defense here. A multi-target Inferno will start to burn up these balloons, but with the Eternal Tome, Serial Killer has done it. This looks far and away a 3-star opportunity for the Indian Clashers. What a showing from the subcontinent in this September qualifier. They have really come over the top and impressed a lot of new fans out there, knocking apart Nova Imperium and Tribe Gaming on their way to that grand finals position. They've got as good a chance as anyone to grab the golden ticket this month.
They do indeed. Serial Killer managing to close out the first semi-final match with a triple. Going out in style, Dark Tangent will be progressing into today's finals. They kept their nerve throughout, and they showed why they should be at this stage in the qualifier. I mean, what stood out in that war for you, Judo? I mean, it was actually fairly close, wasn't it, going up towards the end there?
I think it shows the pressure that both clans are under in the semi-finals of a qualifier. Just being able to grind out the attacks